everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having the most amazing day ever and thank you so much for joining me here today. So today we are building the very first Christmas house of this year on the channel and I'm so excited to share this one with you guys. I put a lot of time and effort and love and care into this house, so I can't wait for you guys to see the final product. So first of all, please don't panic. We are building in Brindleton Bay and we're building in the summertime. Now, there is a reason for this. There is absolutely a reason for this. I do this with my winter builds to make sure that the builds look good in all seasons. Now, if you've built in winter before, like I have, I did this last year on the channel with my other Christmas houses, and I built in winter and I landscaped in winter, and I feel like I was making decisions based on how the landscaping and the basically everything looked in the snow, which is fine. That's absolutely great, but then I feel like maybe the house wouldn't look as good when you're out of winter. So although this is a Christmas house, you guys are more than welcome to use this house for your sim families outside of Christmas as well, and I wanted to make sure that you could use it whenever. I hope that makes sense. So you'll see after, I think it's around 8 or 9 minutes, we do end up changing the weather and we end up going to the snowy sort of landscaping, and that is just after I've managed to get everything done. The landscaping, the colour scheme that I wanted to do on this house, the colour scheme that I wanted to put together on this house, I end up doing it a little bit further down the line. So please don't panic. This is still a winter house and it will become very, very wintry in the next 7 or 8 minutes. So currently working on the exterior. I love this lot in Brindleton Bay. However, I have just realised watching the footage back that this is not good lighting for me to build this on this lot. This lot has so much nicer lighting in the afternoon and I kept it on the morning lighting for some reason, which is a little bit frustrating, but I don't think it matters that much. It doesn't take away from the experience, does it really? So it's absolutely fine. And also, if you guys would like to join me and grab a hot beverage, then please, excuse me, please do so. I'm currently sat here with a hot chocolate, a mint hot chocolate, getting into the festive spirit. This house definitely got me into the festive spirit, and just you wait until you see the inside. If you follow me on any of my social media channels, I will pop them on the screen right now. If you don't, I am now RachelPedd across all platforms, including Tumblr. I have changed my name on there recently, so I am RachelPedd on all platforms. If you follow me on my social media platforms, you may have already seen a sneak peek of the inside, but just you wait until we see the entire inside. I'm so happy with how this came out. Initially, I was gonna do like really subtle, sort of like Christmas vibes on the inside, but then I was like, no, let's do this. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. So I end up going a little bit mad on the decorations inside, but I think it works really, really well. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below when we get onto the inside. We are still working on the exterior of this house. Now, I was sat here thinking a couple of hours ago, because I finished this house today, and I think all in all this house has taken me around 3 or 4 hours to do, which I didn't think it had taken me that long because I've done this in a few sittings. I started this house oh gosh, maybe just under a week ago. Yeah, that'd be about right, just under a week ago, and I've done it in a few sittings. So when I do houses in a few sittings, I get really lost track on time. I don't know if you guys do the same thing. I suppose it's really easy to do so when you're doing it in more than one sitting. I struggle, unless it's a small build or a small apartment, sitting for that length of time and just building, because it's for a couple of reasons. One, I get bored quite easily, and that's nothing to do with the game. It's just me as a person. I get bored quite easily. 2, the longer I look at something that I've created, the more and more I hate it. So like this house, for example, I loved it while I was doing it, and then I stepped away because I was like, I don't like the outside of it at all. I'm not even convinced I want to even attempt decorating the inside. Then I went away and then I came back, and we do modify some of the pitches on the roof pieces here, because they are incredibly tall, and it really annoys me when they're really tall and like there's this big space and big gap between the top of the window and the top of the roof. I don't know if it's just a me thing or if you guys share the frustration, but anyway, like the pitch of these roofs right now, the triangle ones, it's far too high. So you'll see when we get to like in a couple of minutes, when we turn the world into like a snowy winter wonderland, once I've sort of sorted out all the landscaping and stuff, we change the pitches of the roof. And I share work in progress shots on my social media handles as well, for a couple of different reasons. I like showing you guys what I'm doing behind the scenes. When you're not seeing me upload, I am working on another build more often than not. Obviously there are times when I'm not, but more often than not I am working on a different build, and I like to show you guys what I'm working on. Number two, it gives me the opportunity to have a look at what I've done so far. And the longer I look at it, the more I'll just pick out what I don't like. So it's actually really good for me, because then I can go back and change things. I can be like, okay, so the roof pitch is too high. I don't like the way that landscaping looks. I don't like the colour of the swatches that I've used on the exterior walls. It just gives me an opportunity to step back, reflect, and then action any issues, quote unquote, that I need to address. Anyway, so we're almost done with the exterior of the house. Now, I say we're almost done. We're not. I'm lying. What I'm trying to say is, you can see the general shape that we've gone for here, and gives you guys an opportunity to see what this house looks like in summer. So it looks really, really good. So if you're not playing in winter, then the house can be used and looks absolutely fantastic in all other seasons. So again, that is why I did it this way. Again, I did a few Christmas builds last year and they looked terrible in any other season apart from winter, and I did not want to do that with this house or any of my future houses that are going to be like winter themed, because I think it's really important for them to be as versatile as possible. I can't really expect you guys just to use a house in winter and then be like, okay, well it's not winter in the game anymore, so I'm not going to use that house. I wanted it to be accessible for all seasons. So again, that's why we went for this. I know I've explained it twice. I'm just trying to like explain it as best I can. Anyway, so the general shape is already there. It's quite a sizable house. The downstairs in particular is quite large. Then upstairs you have 3 bedrooms, an ensuite, and then a main bathroom. On the ground floor we have a downstairs bathroom, which is a full bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a separate dining room as well. So it's smaller upstairs, but obviously you can kind of tell that just by looking at the outside anyway. But I think it actually works really, really well. So what I ended up doing upstairs is we do a master bedroom, we do a single children's room, and then we do a nursery as well. Obviously, if you want to change the nursery into an office space, or if you want to change it into an additional bedroom or a spare bedroom or like a games room, like you can do pretty much whatever you want to do with the room. It's just that it's quite a small room, and so I thought if your Sims have like a new baby, then that might be kind of nice that they can use the nursery. So we are about to go into the winter wonderland. And I'm really excited because I feel like in The Sims in particular, when it's snowing or when it's raining, I just feel really, really cozy when I'm playing. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but that's definitely how I feel. So I'm looking at the exterior here and I do really, really like how this house turned out actually. As I said, it did take me quite a long time to build, and given that the speed build footage is around about 30 minutes, it's probably not my longest speed build, but it's longer than average. So here we are, Brindleton Bay in the snow in the middle of winter, and as you can see, the house is looking incredibly festive all of a sudden. So this is where I am changing the pitch of the roof pieces, the pieces that I wasn't too happy with, and I have already had a Sim put up some Christmas decorations on the outside as well, because I just wanted to I wanted the exterior of the build to set the tone for the interior of the build. And so I thought if I just put some Christmas decorations up here, then it'll kind of inspire me and see how far we want to take the interior decorations. I took the I took I'm having trouble talking today and I don't know why. I took the interior decorations much further than I thought I was going to. Again, already explained this, but initially I was just going to do like a sprinkling of Christmas on the inside. No. We went full blown. It's Christmas. Here are all your Christmas decorations. Here's Santa's grotto. We just absolutely went to town on it, and I'm not even sorry. I've just realised as well, you have already kind of seen the inside of the house because I did include some snippets of the interior of the house at the start of the video, which I haven't done for quite some time. I used to do it when I first started my channel, and then I just started showing the exterior, but you see that in the thumbnail anyway. So I do think it's really nice sometimes to show the interior, especially when it's Christmas themed, because I think it sets the tone for the rest of the video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Any feedback regarding that, I will absolutely take on board. If you're not too fussed about seeing the interior or snippets of the interior at the start of the video, please let me know and I'll stop doing it. But I just thought for this build in particular, it worked really, really well. So I do go through a few different options on the outside of this house in terms of the Christmas decorations, because I honestly didn't know how far I wanted to take that. So we are moving on to the inside of the build now, and the floor plan was actually quite easy, and I wasn't expecting it to be as easy as it was. So you'll just see me here attempting to figure out the floor plan, and it came together on my first attempt, so I was quite impressed with that really. So you've got, this is the bathroom on the left there, that's the kitchen, dining room, and then this is the living room. So we do start in the living room first of all, and we are using the, I think they call it, is it herringbone wooden flooring? And I wanted this house to kind of have this really cozy 90s Christmas vibe to it. So you'll see what I mean as we move further on into the house. So this, I think the blue Christmas tree would have worked really, really well. And initially, this is the kind of colour scheme that I was going for. And then I was like, no, let's go red and green. Let's just do the stereotypical red and green. But because the exterior of the house was more blue themed, I feel like a blue Christmas tree would have worked a lot better, but it definitely would have restricted me in terms of the other decorations that I wanted to put up in the house. So that's why we went for the red and green theme. Now, it's very unusual that I start in the living room in a house. I usually start with the kitchen, but for some reason I was like, no, I really want to start in the living room here because this is the heart of the home. This is definitely the heart of the home. It's a huge room, so big in fact that I ended up putting a piano in the corner. I've never ever placed a piano in any of the houses that I've ever built, so this was a real treat for me, and I just thought, well, what else can we put in that corner? And given that I feel like the house definitely gives off this higher end sort of vibe, I wanted to carry that through to the interior decoration as well. So I'm hoping we achieve that with this. You'll have to let me know what your thoughts are on it, but I definitely wanted it to have this sort of high end, kind of like a Home Alone vibe, but maybe not that grand or that luxurious. Anyway, now don't panic about the green curtains. We do change them to the cream swatch off camera. Again, when I had a look at some of the screenshots that I had uploaded onto Twitter, I think I uploaded them onto and YouTube actually, on the community tab, I was like, why have I used green curtains? It just doesn't make any sense. So I changed them to cream off camera, and I think safely say that I've never used this coffee table before. I want to say it's from Jungle Adventure, but I don't know if I'm just making that up completely. I thought it worked really, really well in the living room space, and I also struggled a little bit initially with not knowing what furniture to place, and then I very quickly came out of that once I started putting different items together and just coming up with this really, really cozy, not necessarily matchy or stylish sort of vibe, but I think the whole thing, it just works so well, and I'm again really, really happy with how this one turned out. And this little footstool that's near the fireplace, which by the way, the fireplace is from Cottage Living, is probably one of my favourite fireplaces that we have in the game. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. What was I going to say? I don't even know what my point was there. Oh yeah, the little footstool. It's from Cats and Dogs, and I love that checkered beige and cream swatch. I just thought it worked really well in this room. So this is the piano that I was referring to earlier. I put a piano in my Sims house. Like, I've never done this before, so this is really alien territory for me. I don't know if it works, but I really didn't know what else to do with this space. It was either this or put like an office desk there with like a shared computer on, and then I thought, no, I've done that before. Let's try something else. Let's put a piano in there. That's the vibe that we're definitely wanting to go with this house. So I'm hoping it kind of works. Now, these huge garlands that are over these archways right now, don't panic. I do change them off camera because as I was building, I was play testing as I was going along, and the Sims couldn't even go through the archway. So we ended up changing them for the smaller ones from the holiday pack, like the free update that came a few years ago. We ended up changing them for them. So I think it works really well. And just trying to fill up the space with as much stuff as I could without making it look overly cluttered. I mean, it's still quite cluttered, but I think it's a clutter that works quite well. And this lamp from Outdoor Retreat, I love it so much. We actually end up using the double bed from Outdoor Retreat in the master bedroom, and I can safely say it again, I've never used that bed in a build before. So it was really nice actually to use items that I've either never used before or I don't really use very often, because I think when you're doing a Christmas house, it kind of inspires you to use items that you've never used before. So this is the kitchen. I use counters from the Country Kitchen. No, they're not from Country Kitchen, they're from Cottage Living. Yes, they're from Cottage Living. Initially, I struggled a little bit with how to lay this room out, but don't worry, I very quickly got over it. And I actually combine, here we go. So these are cabinets from the base game, pairing with the countertops from Cottage Living. So it's a bit strange, but I think it kind of works. And I end up using the island is actually from the kit. Is it the Country Kitchen kit? I think the island is from. So I use like 3 different packs to create the kitchen space, and that's just for the countertops and stuff. So a bit of a mix, whatever. Anyway, this is the like informal dining space, so your Sims can eat breakfast there if they want to. And then I ended up putting a Christmas tree in most of the rooms in the house. Even the children's room has a Christmas tree in it, just because I thought it was kind of fun, and it's definitely the vibe that I wanted to go for with this house. So I was like, yeah, let's just put a Christmas tree in the kids' room, it'll be fine. So and then I got really annoyed because I was like, I don't know which fireplace to put here. I ended up just using the same fireplace as the one in the living room now. I size it back up as well because it just creates a little bit of continuity, I suppose, and that sort of nice flow that we always talk about. It just made sense, so that's why I ended up doing that. And I absolutely went to town on this kitchen with the Christmas decoration as well. So, and I'm not sorry, because I had an absolute blast with this house. I hope that comes across. I just had such a good time, and I felt so cozy while I was doing it. I know that's like a really, really weird thing to say, but I love doing builds that make me feel warm and cozy and happy. And I've loved doing Christmas builds ever since I was younger, and I played The Sims 2 because I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time since I played The Sims 2 when I was younger, but I believe they came out with a pack. I can't remember what type of pack it was because I can't really remember how they used to differentiate between the different sizes of the packs with The Sims 2, but it was definitely like The Sims 2 holiday something. And I remember I I got my mum and dad to rush me to Toys R Us to get the pack. And I remember installing it and just turning my Sims house into an absolute winter wonderland, and it was like the best thing ever. So I really, really, really love doing these Christmas builds because it kind of takes me back to my childhood as well. But anyway, so you'll see as I was having a little ramble on there about my childhood, we've already made the kitchen pretty festive, and again, really like how this looks. This is definitely a kitchen where you can imagine baking Christmas cookies or cooking Christmas dinner. It's just got that really cozy sort of traditional vibe to it, and I really love these counters from Cottage Living. I think they look really, really nice. I think they're potentially they're not my favourite counters, but they are really, really nice. I think they work in a lot of different builds as well. And just while we're speaking of cottage living, I of course am going to be doing a winter themed cottage in Henford-on-Bagley as well, because it'd be rude not to, really, wouldn't it? I mean, it just would. It'd be so rude. So and then I've got a collaboration build with some other simmers coming out in the next couple of weeks as well, so I need to work on that. We're actually building in Windenburg, so I need to get started on that house really. So I've got a couple of more, at least 2 more Christmas builds to bring to you guys before Christmas, although I am planning on doing a few more. I'd like to do a Christmas apartment as well. So if you've got any other Christmas build ideas, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will take any idea on board. If I've got the time to do it, then I will absolutely make that happen. So the kitchen's pretty much finished actually. It's always nice when you have a bit of a ramble and then you come back and you're like, oh, I've nearly finished this room. I sometimes kind of get bored talking about the same room on voiceovers, so I'll just go off on like a tangent on something else completely. So I don't know if that's obvious to you guys, but anyway. So cluttering up the fireplace, because I think it looks kind of silly if you don't do that. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. Probably not. And just trying to fill up as much wall space as I possibly can, because for some reason I can't stand empty wall space. I don't know why. Not a clue. And we do end up putting a dog bowl in the kitchen as well, which I did talk about on my last speed build. I think I mentioned that I have 2 dogs in real life, and it's very rare that I put down a pet bowl in my Sims builds. So I'm going to start doing that more and more, because I feel like you guys, if you have families, play with pets quite often. So I'll just start including them, and then if you don't play with them, then you can just remove them, I guess. And that's probably the easiest way to do it. Speaking of my dogs, they are currently in the office with me. They're asleep on their bed. Now, they keep moving slightly, so if you can hear them, I apologise. I'll try and edit out as much as I can. But like now, I think that's Maverick getting up and just adjusting himself. Does anyone else have a dog that twirls, like, you know, like when they're about to lay down and they circle? Maverick will do the circle 10 times before he lays down. It's so funny. It drives my husband and I absolutely nuts when he does it, when we're all laying on the sofa, because he'll just twirl for like 10 times and then he'll finally lay down, and then he'll lay down for 5 minutes and then he'll get up and then he'll twirl the other way and then he'll lay down again. He's a special boy. Anyway, so this is the dining room. Now, I think with the dining room, initially I was going to just put a normal dining room table on it and then maybe put a couple of Christmas decorations on it. Oh no. I decided to use a full-blown Christmas dining table, which I'm not even sorry about, because at this point, look at the house. It looks like Santa's grotto, for goodness sake. So I'm not going to apologise for it. I think it looks really good, actually. But it looks a lot bigger than it is, I feel. And because I wanted to put a fireplace in here, no, you Sims, as far as I'm aware, cannot light this fireplace. It is purely aesthetic. The fireplace. I just felt like, what else are you going to put there, right? And then I didn't want to remove the window from the front, because then the house would look weird from the front. So this is what you get. It works. It's just not entirely functional in that you can't light the fireplace, but that's no big deal, right? It's just there for decoration. So this is the downstairs bathroom. This is the only bathroom that I include in the footage of this particular build, just because the other bathrooms upstairs are essentially exactly the same in that we use the same furniture, although they're just placed slightly differently. So again, if I was going to include stuff like that, you're looking at just more time on the build, and I feel like it's just unnecessary time, especially when if you've seen one bathroom in my builds, you've seen them all. If you've been around the channel for a while, then you're probably already aware of this. So it's nice and clean and simple. It's functional, but it's also really homey and cozy at the same time. So I think it works really well, actually. And so now we're moving on to the upstairs. The floor plan for this is slightly less eloquent than the one downstairs. It doesn't really flow as well, but I definitely tried to utilize every single crevice up here as best I could. So the master bedroom's on the larger side, but we do have an ensuite, and then we've got a children's room, a very small nursery, and then a main bathroom as well. So I think it works quite well. I definitely use the space as best I could. So this is what we ended up coming up with. So this is the hallway. It's very simple because there's nothing else that can really go on here because it's very small. So the first room that we work on is the children's room, and initially I was going to just make it look like little elf lived in here. I think that was definitely what I wanted to go for initially. Then I toyed around with the idea of putting 2 beds in here instead of the 1, but we very quickly decided against that, and I decided to just put in a single bed. So if you do have more than 1 child sim, or you've got 2 sims that would like to share a bedroom, you can always just change this out for a bunk bed, and I'm sure it would work absolutely fine. But I just really wanted to use this bed from the Cats and Dogs pack in this red swatch. It's so cozy and festive, and I haven't used it as much as I would like. So I was like, yeah, we'll use it here. I think it works really, really well. Pairing it with a rug from the Dream Home Decorator pack of all packs. I just think it looks really nice. And then what I ended up doing was filtering some of the objects by colour, which obviously is red. I didn't want it to be too red in here, but I would definitely want there to be pops of red. And if you filter by colour, it's so much easier to just find items that are in the red swatches, obviously. Because I think there are a lot of items where my go-to swatch is like a certain swatch or 2 swatches, and then I won't use the other swatches. So sometimes when you filter by colour, it's really fascinating what you can find. And Harley just sneezed. So, yeah. I'm not convinced I'll be able to edit that out. Bless you. He's having a scratch now. Can't you just stay still for half an hour while I'm doing my recording? No, still scratching himself. Anyway, this kids' room ended up being really cute. I really like how this turned out, actually. And yes, this child has a Christmas tree in their room. Clearly a very spoiled child, but that's what kids are here for, right? They're here to be spoiled. That's what I say. So this child has its own Christmas tree. Can you imagine being a child in this house and waking up on Christmas morning or even Christmas Eve, and this is the room that you have? How nice would that be? That would be so nice. And like, I'm looking back now, and I put candles on the bedside table, which maybe isn't the best idea in the world, especially for a child sim, but it's The Sims, okay? It doesn't always have to make sense. You might want to change that if you prefer playing with a little bit of realism. You might want to change the candles on the bedside table, but I just thought it was really cute, like little Christmas candles. There is a small desk in here with a computer on as well, and a bookcase, so your child sim has absolutely everything in here that they could possibly want. I've just realised they don't have a wardrobe. Oh my god, no! Instead of a wardrobe, I put a Christmas tree in there. Clearly, I was not thinking. Wow. Okay, well, you might want to remove the Christmas tree and put in a wardrobe. I'm so sorry. I really, really am. I'm so sorry. Oh, wow. I always have to make a mistake in a build. Like, I don't have to, but I somehow manage to make a mistake in every single build that I put up, whether it's forgetting a fridge or a bin or a wardrobe, an entire wardrobe. I mean, come on. I don't think I've ever done that in a kid's room before, just forgotten the entire wardrobe. I'll get over it. So, for the last, I'd say 30 seconds, we're just having a look and seeing what else we can put on the walls, because clearly there's not enough going on. A bit of sarcasm for you there, but it's a kid's room. It's supposed to be fun and cluttered, and yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. So this is the master bedroom. This is the bed that I was referring to earlier from Outdoor Retreat. It's so nice. It's really festive, but it's like neutral festive. So I think it works really, really well, especially with the decor that we've gone for in this particular house. I just think it looks really good. And I am going to make a disclaimer right now. I did not include any footage of me doing the back garden because the back garden wasn't very big. So all I really put out there was a swing set and then like the monkey bars. So again, didn't really feel the need to include that in the footage. So if and when you do download this house, just know that the back garden, as with all my back gardens, it's nothing particularly special or exciting, but it's all right, you know. It's fine. It's functional. Your kids have got things to do out there. If you're good at gardens, you can absolutely just go in there and just do whatever you like. So, and then I think I keep that. Yes, I do. I keep a Christmas tree in the master bedroom as well, but I did size it down because I think because of where the door was for the ensuite, I was like, I don't want it to block too much or take up too much room. I think if you wanted to de-Christmasify, no, that's not a word, de-Christmasify this house, I think it might take a little bit of work, but you could definitely, even if you wanted to just download it unfurnished and then obviously do what you wanted to inside, then you absolutely can do that as well. It just depends how you play with my houses, really, but I suppose it'd just be a case of going around and deleting the Christmas objects and then possibly replacing them with some non-Christmas objects. We'll see. This room is actually huge. I feel like I could maybe turn this into 2 rooms and made it a 4-bedroom house, but I didn't. Maybe a missed opportunity, but it's all right. It's okay. It works. And then I've just realised as well how many times I used this hanging plant from the new plant. Is it plant? What's it called? Plant lovers kit? No, that's not what it's called at all. The new plant kit, whatever it was called. Blooming Rooms, the Blooming Rooms kit. I used that hanging plant, I think, in every single room in this house. I don't even think I'm joking. I've got a problem. It's gorgeous. I just really like it, okay? I think it looks really nice. This is the final room, and I'm kind of glad because I feel like I'm going loopy-loo with like how much I've been talking. So this is the nursery. Initially, I was going to make it a toddler's room. And then I was like, no, let's make it a nursery instead. So I didn't really have a particular gender in mind for this nursery. I didn't have a gender in mind for the children's room either. So you can pretty much put whatever sim you like in here, really. So I think it's just really cute and I think it works really well. But I'm going to wrap up here because I've suddenly run out of time. So if you'd like to download this house, it is now available to download from the gallery. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. You guys take care. Please drop any comments down below. What did you think of the house? And I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!